Welcome to Fiber by Design. This is episode 43. My name is Sarah Stevens. You can find me as Sarah Stevens on Ravelry and Sarah Stevens 11 on Instagram and Twitter. Yes.
Periscope.
And Periscope. Yes. Who are you?
I'm Lydia. You can find me as Lydia B on Ravelry, and you can find me as Lydia Knits on Instagram and Periscope.
Very nice. This is a knitting podcast, knitting and fiber related podcast, and basically it's chronicling our fiber filled lives. Everything fiber. Yes. So, anyways, jumping right in, I guess, right?
Yeah.
We were asked, I don't know, was it 2 episodes ago, 1 episode ago, if we would explain our segments, and so bear with us because during each segment we're going to take a 2-second and explain them just briefly. Handmade wardrobe. So Lydia and I realized that we don't knit intentionally as much as we would like to. And one of the things about knitting intentionally is that you get to actually wear the stuff that you create, which is kind of important. So we were finding that we buy all of this beautiful yarn and pair it with beautiful things, but then find it really hard to pair it with things that we actually wear all of the time.
Yes.
So we wanted to be more intentional about that and let you know a little bit about what we're wearing each day as well. So today I'm wearing the Zephyr Clove. I knit this in our 2013 Harry Potter Defense Against the Dark Arts Challenge because it has two different, a light and a dark, a variegated and a semi-solid. It's by Romy Hill, and I believe that I got this from one of her 7 Small Shawl pattern ebooks. I usually subscribe to this ebook every year. I think I now have 3. There might be 4 of them, but I have 3. I love this shawl. It's huge. It's very huge. I mean, the tail is really, really long. It has this beautiful, beautiful leaf at the bottom of one end. It has the picot bind off along along the edge, and it has this lace as well. Can you see it? A lace along the bottom. So I love this shawl. It's one of my favorites.
I am first wearing a bird in my hair because this is our Christmas episode, and we were talking last week about being the crazy bird lady, so I'm wearing one of my grandmother's birds in my hair.
And she's wearing red and green.
I am.
I clearly forgot the memo.
I'm wearing my Tan Housebrook shawl, and this is by Jennifer Lassonde. I love this shawl. I made the fingering weight version. There is a worsted weight version, which Sarah has made 2 of, right?
Yep.
And I knit this out of the Mojito color from Ohloops, and this is on our 2-ply high twist. And I don't know if you guys can actually see, but it's very subtle. Like there's these little pops of like brown almost in there. But yeah, I really love this. And there was a knit along for this, right? That we
There was a knit
Yeah, it was the Tan
She did
Housebrook
it.
knit along. Yeah.
Yeah. Jennifer hosted it in
That's right, in the Downseller
her
studio.
group. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I love this one. I, again, sadly don't wear it as much, but I should wear it more at Christmas because it is very
very Christmassy.
So
I just realized that I don't really have any Christmas shawls. That's going to be on my bucket list as well, I think. I'm going to add that. So next year for our Christmas episode, I will have something red or green.
Nice. And then on my feet,
I'll be reverse of you. I'll wear my green bulky weight sweater and I'll make a red shawl.
there you go.
Okay. Anyways.
So on my feet, I'm wearing my Blueberry Waffle socks by Sandy Turner. And I knit these our first year of Harry Potter for the Astronomy Tower extra credit. And they are in the Inagata de Vida colorway. And I used about 375 yards, and I made a large size. And I used my size 2 needles to make them. And I probably wear these socks more than any other socks aside from my Sally's Tower slippers because they're ribbed. So
I'm thinking that's exactly it. Yep. If you guys
get stretched out.
Most of you all know that I kind of have musical Tourette's. So for one of our clubs specifically, for an entire year, every single colorway that went into the club was after songs or artists, bands that I enjoyed. And so Inagata Davida, if you guys don't know that song, it is probably one of my favorite songs ever. It's by the Iron Butterflies, and it has a 12-minute drum solo in the original uncut edition, and
I love that you know that.
Should listen to it. It's fantastic. So those classic rock enthusiasts,
oh, that's awesome.
yes. And I almost feel like I need to listen to it. Yeah. That's how we should end this podcast at some point.
There you go.
The drum solo. Not for 12 minutes, though.
Yeah. It's a long 12 minutes.
Enjoy that in your privacy of your own home. But
yes.
anyways.
That's funny.
Sorry.
Moving right along.
Moving right along.
Okay.
Do you want to explain this segment?
Sure. So the Knit Life is kind of our whips that we're currently working on.
And our FOs.
And our FOs. So, and it's just because as a knitter, that's your life. You knit all the time.
You have
So,
whips.
you have whips and you have FOs.
And you have FOs.
Yes, and you have planning and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what the Knit Life is. Do you want to do FOs or whips first?
Okay, so I have to admit that I meant to ask you this. So one of my FOs are foot related, but they aren't exactly socks.
They're not socks, so we'll do them.
So we'll do these. Okay, I only have one FO that goes into this.
I have 3.
Then you should go first.
Okay. I finished my Something Beautiful shrug, and this is by Nicole Ratliff. And I made the 2-3 size for the little girl I nanny for. And this is the Spring Sproutling colorway that Sarah dyed for her little Spring Sproutling hat. And I love it. I actually, I added some length to the pattern because once I got to the end of it, I realized that I didn't think it was going to be quite long enough. So I made it slightly longer. But I knit this on my USI 7s, the 4.5 millimeter, and I really love the way it came out. So I'm excited to give it to Avery for Christmas. And I used our new wool wash to wash it, and it's so soft now. And it smells good.
So I love our new wash.
So I got that done. So that's FO number 1.
Ooh, very nice.
Your turn. Go ahead.
That pattern is a free pattern on
It is.
Ravelry. And so I'm not giving anything away by saying this, but when we were chatting about it earlier, Lydia said that she added some length to it. And if you're going to knit any of the larger sizes, we went back and kind of analyzed it. You're going to need to add length to all of them because while all of the patterns for all of the sizes accommodate for width, none of them accommodate for length, so the length never changes.
Yeah.
So not a big deal, just going into it knowing that if you're going to knit one of the larger sizes that isn't a 12-month or an 18-month, then add a little bit of length on it.
And I only added, I think I added 5 extra stockinette rows, and then instead of making the bottom of this sweater, the rib on the bottom 4 rows, I think I made mine 6, which matches the top. So I didn't add, I mean, I only added 11.
It's not much, but enough to make a difference.
Yeah.
I think. Okay, so my first FO in this section is these simple house slippers by Simone A.
They're so cute.
And this is what they look like. There's 2 of them. I did complete 2. The ends are woven in, they're not blocked. I made these for my oldest daughter. I don't know if you can see them. They actually fit me too, which is funny. But this pattern is awesome. So Simone A. hosts this pattern that he wrote up on his blog. So when you find the pattern on Ravelry, you'll just be directed to his blog. It's not a PDF that you print out, but it's perfect. It's one size, and it's very customizable, I feel like. And I'll show you it with a whip in a little bit exactly. I'm making it 3 different sizes, probably 4 or 5, but for now I'm focusing on the 3. And I used for these guys US size 5 needles. I think they were just my 24-inch cables, my Haya Sharps, and I knit these ones held just single with Cascade Eco Plus that I had left over from a scarf that I made my dad last year. They took barely any yarn at all to make them, and they were super fast. From start to finish, it took me 5 hours, and that was basically, there's a chunk of time in there where I was getting up, moving around, doing dishes, things like that. So, very fast. Love them to death. Highly recommend them as far as Christmas or gift giving, knitting, or just to have if you have guests, house guests.
Yes. Last week when we podcasted, I was just getting started on my first East St. Nicholas hat by Sarah. I have now finished 2 of them. So this is the one I was working on last week. This is the red and green one. And this one will be for my daughter Jillian. So I was laughing. I've given them all kind of funny names. Like this one's the Christmas Elf. The one for my son is called Winter Wonderland. And then the last one is Whimsical Christmas. But I was laughing as I was knitting them because I was thinking about my children and how they're not perfect, but they're perfect to me because they're my kids. And each one of these hats is not completely perfect because I have screwed something up on all 3 of them now. So I screwed up the linen stitch on there, but nobody's going to know, and I thought it was kind of cute. So that's the first one. I love that one. I think that one's probably my favorite.
That one's my favorite out of all of them, too.
And then this one is my son's. This one is going to be Noah's. This one's the Winter Wonderland one. And on his, I realized that when I started knitting the brim, I did the first 2 rows not as a twisted brim. So that's where his is messed up.
You can't even tell, though.
I know, and nobody's going to know, but
no one's going to know but you.
I love them. I'm really happy with them. So I'll show you the next one in our whips segment in a second. So those are the 2 that are done.
I can't wait to see the little picture of the 3 of them in their PJs with them around a Christmas tree. I feel like it needs to happen.
Oh, it's going to. And I was thinking about it as I was driving here this morning. I think it needs to happen every single year from now on. Yeah. And then I was like, at some point, they're not going to fit them anymore. So
they'll just
have to hold them, like, up to them.
Cute. I love it.
Yeah, so these 2 are done, and yes, they are going to. And
making Christmas traditions.
Right.
One hat at a time.
Exactly. So all 3 of the kids will have one, and then I'm going to have enough yarn left over because I've made the child size. I don't know if I'll have enough to make a long one. I probably should. But I think I'm going to make myself one using all of the leftovers from all 3. So I will either have a beanie style that just has a huge pom-pom, or I'll have a long one like them. So we shall see.
It's too bad you couldn't go get, well, I mean, too bad. You could go get maybe, or dye another skein or something so that way you could make you and Joel one that it's like your color is the main color and it uses bits and pieces of all the kids, and then his color is the main color that uses bits and pieces. So like his could be navy and yours could be like a really cool, I don't know, plum or something.
That could be cute. I should do that.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
We shall see. So, very nice. Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot.
Me too.
Those are that was my only FO. I do have whips though. Okay. Do you have whips?
I have 1.
Yay! Okay, I have a lot of whips.
Well, I actually have 2, but this one's not for a knit knife.
Got it. So yeah, I have a lot of Operation Sock Drawer whips, but I do have some that are not. So the first one I'm going to show you is in a new to me bag. This bag is from Lip Syncing Ladybug. From Lydia's cousin. She made this a while ago and gave it to me, so I'm super excited about it. It's perfect. It's I had said a long time ago on a podcast that I wish I did let's try that again. That I wish that I had a bag that I could fit my patterns in, and this is like the perfect size. And it's also kind of like the perfect study session bag size too. Mm-hmm. So I love this bag. I love the durable handles. It's perfectly me. So in this Lip Syncing Ladybug bag, I am housing my Advent calendar shawl. So I'm going to preface this. If you have not knit this shawl or are not knitting this shawl currently and want to knit it and want to be surprised, look away.
Look away. Look
Don't
away.
look at what I'm going to show you. However, currently, by the time you see this, they will be on like day 22, and I have only knit through day 7. I tried to justify that by, I started late. I started 4 days late. Okay, guys. Not really that late. But, so here it is. Look away really quick if you haven't yet. But this is what I've got going so far. I'm in love with it. It does the picot bind off on one side. It is slowly incorporating the other colors. It's got some fun, different lacy textury things going on, which is super awesome. I am in love with this shawl so far. I am using my Hiya Sharps US size 7 4.5 millimeters. I'm knitting them on my 24-inch fixed ones, and I believe that I'm going to need to move to maybe a 32-inch because I'm not very far, and I like to be able to stretch it out just a little bit, and I've already used up my entire 24-inch cable. So I'm going to have to change it to my 32-inch interchangeables. But that's fine. And the yarn that I'm using. I'm using a skein of Madeline Tosh sock in the Sugar Plum colorway, and it is this seriously gorgeous Sugar Plum purple. I don't know if the lighting is catching it or not. This colorway is from 3 Irish Girls also. It's on Beck and Stretch Merino, so I thought, and then I started really feeling it, and I think this is the Felicity. So I think I totally told you guys all wrong, which is also a high twist yarn, but it doesn't have the same stretch as the Beck and Stretch, so I'm pretty sure this is not the Beck and Stretch Merino. This has got to be the Felicity, and it's in a Carpe Yarnum colorway that I don't know.
My only other project for this section is in my awesome Christmas bird bag from Freckle Flimsy. Visual Casting. I love this bag. And it is the 3rd Eve St. Nicholas hat. So, this is the Whimsical Christmas one, and this one will be for my daughter Emma. So I'm on I just finished last night the first 5 colors. And with mine, I'm doing 3 full color repeats and then a half on the last one. And I have my adorable little, the little mitten stitch marker from Vintage Rose. So yeah, with mine I'm doing 3 full ones and then a half. And with this one, I screwed it up because you're supposed to start decreasing on the 3rd purl bump. And I didn't. I just kept knitting and forgot. So I've only done 1 decrease so far. So like I said, every single one of my hats I screwed something up on, but it's been something different each time, which totally makes me laugh.
Yep. Different kids.
But, so, these are all 3 of them together, all lined up in a row. So, I love them. And I think it's going to be super cute, because this one will be for my oldest, and then my middle daughter Jillian will be in the middle. So basically it'll be pictures like that.
Cute.
So, yeah, I think it's great.
Super cute. Now you're making me think, okay,
You need to make them.
I need to make some more of
I
them.
know, because you only made the one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so,
I only made the one that you're working on.
right. Yeah, I love this hat. So if you guys haven't knit Sarah's East St. Nicholas hat, you totally should. They're very fast. I mean, last week I was just on the brim of that one, and I finished 2.5 of them so far. And it doesn't take very much yarn. We dyed kits for them that had 1 50-gram natural and then 4 25-gram, right? 25-gram colored ones.
Yep.
And with making the child size, I still have lots of leftover yarn from the first year. So,
Yeah.
doesn't take very much yarn at all.
Even for the largest size.
Mhm.
There should be no reason why you couldn't finish a hat
Yeah.
with 150 grams of scraps.
Yes. And that is, they are knit out of worsted. And I am using my Hiya Sharps, my US 7s, which is the 4.5 millimeter. And surprisingly enough, I'm still getting Sarah's gauge. So,
Well, that's because I've learned to write some of my patterns, especially hats. Like, I'll knit them at a different gauge, like at a different needle, but I know that that's the gauge that you should be getting with that needle.
right.
So,
Yeah.
with the correct needle.
Yes, yes.
So, okay. Housed in my sweet Village Hue Loco bag that I've shown you guys numerous times now, I started a new hat for my husband. If you guys have watched over the years, you know every year my husband asks for a hat. Every single year without fail, he will ask for a hat and he will ask for a pair of gloves. And he will inevitably always find something that is not right for his head or his hands with said hat or gloves. And every single year after Christmas, I vow to never again knit him a hat or a pair of gloves. And guess what? Every single year, I still knit him a hat or a pair of gloves for Christmas. Always a different pattern.
So you're just a glutton for punishment.
I am. I swear, I'm just trying to find like the perfect pattern for his head. Because
Right.
as much as I love him, he does have a very misshapen head. So it's like nothing fits him correctly. So
I love that. Your misshapen head. I love Sean, so that makes me laugh. Misshapen
So, I cast this on. I'm using Madeline Tosh Vintage in the Cousteau colorway. Jacques Cousteau is what it makes me think of.
I
It's
love that color.
probably one of my favorite worsted weight bases ever. It's 100% superwash merino. You get 200 yards. And it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing, amazing. And I don't know if you can see the different tones and the depth in this color with the lighting, but it's beautiful. So I'm knitting the Bankhead hat. There was a huge obsession about it last year.
Dan at the bakery beers.
He started it.
He did.
It was all Dan's fault. He started it, and I think I knit 5.
You totally did. Yeah, you knit a lot of them.
Last Christmas time, I knit a pink one, and I knit 2 other Madeline Tosh ones.
Mm-hmm.
I knit a gray one. I knit Caitlin one out of our Valentine's yarn. The Conversation
It is
colorway.
by Susie Goulet.
Yes. I am knitting mine on my Hiya Sharps US 3s 3.25 millimeter needle. I believe that the recommended size is actually a 7.
Yeah, I think so.
So, normally I would knit the brim on 3s, and I would knit the rest of the hat on my 5s. But I must just be a super loose knitter this week on this hat because I was checking my gauge and I was still getting the correct gauge. So I just kept going.
I love it.
I don't know.
It's a beautiful color.
Yep, I love it. I think he's going to like it. He doesn't have a green hat yet. I've knit multiple brown ones. Multiple brown ones. A blue one. I figured, let's change it up.
Totally.
So green.
Well, and the best thing is that if he doesn't like it, you can wear it.
I know, and I like the color. And you'll pretty much understand in a little while that green must be the thing that I'm supposed to be knitting right now, because a lot of things are happening on green.
Yes, very much so.
So, my sweater, I am now on my second skein of yarn, and I am knitting the Featherweight Cardigan by Hannah Fettig, and I have been teaching a class, and we're taking a little bit of a Christmas break, so that way it fell perfectly. We're taking Christmas break. Everybody is at the body, so we're just trying to get through the body before our next class in January. And I had split for the sleeves, and I put a stitch marker, here we are, I put a stitch marker where I ended the last time I showed you, and this is how far I am now. I wanted to be able to show you exactly how much progress I actually had made, which is quite a bit. I am using my Hiya Sharps US size 2 2.75 millimeter needle, 32-inch cables. These ones are my interchangeables. They're not my fixed. And I know that I should alternate skeins throughout the entire sweater. This is, if I were knitting this sweater for somebody else, then I would do that. But I'm knitting it for me, and because I don't think that I'm going to care as much, I did not. So I knit most of the sweater, I knit for a really long time, until I used up all but maybe 15 grams of my first skein of yarn. And then I started alternating with the new skein of yarn. And I alternate, when I do alternate skeins, I alternate them differently. I don't do the typical knit down and then purl back with one skein and then switch skeins. What I do is I'll knit down with one skein, and then I'll knit down with the next skein, and then I'll turn my work and I'll purl down with the first skein, and then I'll purl down again with the second skein. So that way it's literally every other row is one of the different colors. So for me, I feel like that really blends nicely, and you can't even tell where I have, because I split for my skeins down here, and you can't even tell where it happened.
I wish you guys could see this skein in person, because there is so much beautiful purple that's happening that doesn't show up on screen at all.
No, it's like this lavender, charcoal, and black wash that happens over the lavender. There's a lot of depth to it. I am thoroughly enjoying it. I think it's going to make a great everyday go-to sweater that I'll use a lot.
Yes.
And as soon as I get done, then I'll probably want to make more. But we'll see. I have, you guys have seen my bucket list. I have quite a few things on it. The only things that I'm debating about with this sweater is how I want to do my sleeves and how I want to do my band and my collar, because I think I'm going to add some detail on my sleeves. I think I'm going to progress it into maybe a half linen stitch to add some interest to the arms. I say I think I am, and I really mean I know that I'm going to. And I think the way that I think I'm going to only add the half linen stitch at the bottom half of the arm, maybe just below where the elbow hits. And then I'm going to do a 1x1 twisted rib for the cuff. That way I can do a 1x1 twisted rib around the bottom of the sweater as well as around the collar. It took me all week to wrap my head around how I was going to incorporate it and where it was going to happen. And, if I have the half linen stitch on the arm, then should I add it somewhere else? And I decided I just don't want to add it anywhere else. I want that to be the only feature that I add into the sweater. And that's another great thing about this featherweight cardigan, is that it's just like a blank slate. So you can kind of do whatever you want. If you want to add cables to it, add cables to it. If you want to add half linen stitch, add half linen stitch. It's just a clean slate you get to play with. So,
yeah,
super excited about that. And that is this is the last whip that I have that's not sock related. So I cast on to another pair of,
Look at how done.
aren't they fantastic, of Simple House Slippers by Simone
Oh
A.
my goodness. Oh, that is too cute.
It melts my heart. They're for my son. And because this is a free pattern, I feel like I'm not giving anything away. I'm knitting these guys on US 5s, 3.75 millimeters. And in the original pattern, he has you cast on 40 stitches and knit for 32 rows before you join in the round. So for this size, for Ethan's little tiny feet size, I cast on 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 stitches. And I did it for 20, 22, 24, 26, 28 rows. And then I joined in the round and I did some round toe shaping and bound off like after 4 rows. I only went in the round for 4 rows. So super fast. I think this little guy took me maybe an hour to do after I finally figured out the foot, because it took me a while to, I kept having him try it on. Is this going to be big enough? Is this the right size? You know, first I cast on too many stitches and then I cast on too little stitches. So
cute.
I'm in love with these guys. I'm using the Cascade Eco wool held double with this random skein of a DK weight that I don't know what it is. I bought this from Hyena Cart 6-7 years ago from some indie dyer off of Hyena Cart. And I made my son a little monster out of it. Actually, if you go to my Ravelry project page, I do believe that that monster is in it. I might have put the yarn information on that. Might have.
If you really want to know.
If you really want to know. There's no guarantee this person is even dyeing this yarn anymore. So,
That's funny.
I don't know. But
I haven't used Hyena Cart in
years. I don't even know.
All about it. I don't even do they do it anymore?
I don't even know if they're still on or if it's still a thing. I don't know. I'm housing that project in my Freckled Whimsy bird bag.
Yeah.
Just like Lydia's. And with my little shark project keeper, it doesn't make any sense, but it's kind of funny that the shark gets to eat the birds. Anyways. I don't know. It just made me laugh. So.
You're goofy.
I know. So I think that's all of my whips that are not sock related. There's a hashtag for this. There is no time frame for this. This segment is simply just about socks because one of my all-time favorite things to do is knit socks. And I have this long-standing goal that I decided I want to knit 100 pairs of socks that are just for me. So I'm not counting the ones that I give away or ones that I make for my kids. These are like 100 socks in my sock drawer. And I'm on pair 9. I'm also only starting with the socks that I haven't really worn yet and that were already on my Instagram feed. I just went back and tagged them. So I completed 9. So, with that said, where are my socks? Do you have socks? How many socks do you have on this? Do you have any FOs for them?
No. No.
Okay. I have 2 hose. My Jolly Green Giant sock is complete. I made it to a part.
Timothy Green.
Timothy
was
Green.
the name that I was trying to think of last week.
Yes.
Just thought I would throw that out there. Thought of it after I left.
It was so funny because I was thinking about that too and I was like, what is that?
It's Timothy Green. Anyway.
Yeah.
Random.
So I named them my Jolly Green Giant socks because they just look, they make me jolly and they're green and it's funny. So I made it almost to the ribbing before my plan was initially to do my entire ribbing in this dark olive color. and I made it to 75 rows past the heel turn, and normally I do my socks 65 rows up, and I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to be done, and I didn't even do a twisted rib on here. I did a regular 2x2 ribbing on the top, and I got about halfway with the olive. This is my just another vanilla sock pattern. I knit these on my Knit Picks. Nope. On my nope, it was my Knit Picks. My Knit Picks US size 0, 2.0 millimeter needles, 24-inch cables. So those guys. And then I also finished my trunkless elephant
I love that
sock. From this yarn is from Dana of Unwind Yarn Company. This is her trunkless elephant colorway, and I love this. I did a modified pinstripe, so I just wanted something that was sweet and had a little bit more interest. And I added this mini skein that I had left of some hazelnut yarn. I don't even know what the colorway is. I don't know anything.
I love it though. I love that the
Yeah.
gray is with it. I think it's perfect.
I do too. So these are my two hose.
So
My first whip I'm working on right now is housed in my Suburban Stitcher Gumdrop Wonderland bag. These were kits, and she had a few of these in her shop. In fact, I think there's still one left of these in her shop. The little pulls that are from the bottom fabric, and they just are so sweet. So she so kindly sent them to Lydia and myself. And in this kit, if you were able to get in on it, you got the bag, a set of stitch markers from Vintage Rose, Vanessa of Vintage Rose, and you also got a skein of mustache yarn from Stacy. This is the Dapper Self Striping yarn in the Gumdrop Wonderland colorway. It has 6 double wide stripes. It's an 80-10-10, and it's 400 yards, so 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And I have the beginnings of a sock. I have already put my lifeline in for my heel, and it will happen right in the middle of that blue stripe. And I've determined that I'm going to do, okay, so here's what I've mildly determined that I'm going to do: 2 full repeats and then 4 stripes, and then do my cuff in the last 2 colors, in the green and the red, and the heel in yarn at the end, in the rest of this stripy yarn. Or I will do 3 full repeats and then do the cuff and the heel in a different semi-solid altogether, and I don't know which option I'm going to go with.
see, I think I'm going to try. I have this same kit, so I got the same yarn. I'm going to try and do my very first ever afterthought heel. I want to do a white one, I think.
That would be pretty. So I don't know. Yeah, I'll figure it out. My goal is to have these guys done so I can wear them on Christmas Eve. It's my plan. I want to wear them.
I'm going to cast mine on Christmas Eve. Sarah will be wearing hers, and I will be casting mine
I was
on.
originally going to cast mine on Christmas Eve, but I want to wear them because I found another skein of yarn that I really want to knit with that's Christmas inspired that I want to cast on for Christmas Eve. So I needed to have one done.
Yes, yes.
So,
okay. My first one, so last week I showed you guys the socks that I was making with the Patons Croy. And I had started this one with the little green and brown and blue toe. And I discovered after telling you guys that these don't have colorways, which they still technically don't have colorway names, they do just have dye lots. But they do say this. So the green one is called Cascade Colors, and the other one that I showed you, the pink one, is called Cameo Colors.
Okay.
So they do have those. So just
Must be a different dyeing.
Yeah, the dyeing technique or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I had said that I was going to do the socks on a plane, and I have actually finished the first little repeat. But as I was sitting there thinking about it, as we discussed last time, my biggest issue with socks is that because I have thicker ankles, they always get stretched out, and I don't like that. So I decided I'm going to rip that back and just knit stockinette on the foot, and then do a twisted rib for the leg. So I'm going to rip that one back out. But last night I got cast on to the pink and blue one, which I am loving. Sorry, it's all stuck on my handle of my bag. So I got cast onto this one, and you guys can't really see the colors, I don't think, but it's this really fun, like, gray and pink, and then a gray and blue, and I love it. I think they're going to be a lot of fun together, actually.
I think they're super cute.
And on this one I have my snowflake stitch marker, or progress keeper from Vintage Rose, and on this one my little bird that Sarah made. And it seemed fitting because, you know, birds at Christmas. So,
I love it.
yeah, so just going to do stockinette and then do a twisted rib for the leg. So, and Sarah and I were talking, and I think for me the biggest thing of why I don't like socks, is like I mentioned last week, is that you don't get that like instant gratification that it's done because you still have one more. I totally have second sock syndrome, so we're knitting them not 2 at a time on the same needle, but 2 at a time.
Simultaneously.
Yeah, so I've done the toe on both. I have to go back and rip this one out. I'm going to finish the foot on this one and then do the foot on that one. Do the heel, then the heel, vice versa. So,
What are you ripping out of the other one? You're going to rip out the socks on a plain twist?
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Just take it back to the toe, because I had only done one, so it's only a few rows. Not a big deal.
Perfect.
And I'm keeping both of them in my Suburban Stitcher bag, which looks just like Sarah's, other than mine is blue. And I'm knitting both of those on my fixed Hiya Sharps size 2, US size 2. So I'm really happy with how they're both knitting up. I like them a lot. So
I like them too.
me too. So, and I am doing the Operation Sock Drawer 100 thing, but because I'm not a huge sock knitter or sock wearer, I'm going to count all of the socks I knit, because this year I have every intention of knitting socks for my children and my husband out of the colors that Sarah and I dyed. So I kept my husband's colorway and all of my kids' colorway, and so I'm going to make them all socks out of their colorway, and I'm going to try to have those done for Christmas next year.
That would be awesome.
So
You can totally do it.
She says this. She has faith in me.
I do have faith in you. I think you can totally do it.
I'm going to try. I figure if I start now, it should be okay. And I'll probably start with Joel's, because his feet don't change size.
Turn on a little Anagata Davida.
Totally. And
Rock
just go
out.
for it.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So the only other sock that I have to show you is my planning sock. And it's by Knitted Wit. It's on her Victory sock base, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 420 yards, and it's the Sassy Santa colorway.
I love that colorway.
Me too. So this is my Christmassy plan. I will be
fun.
wearing my other ones, and I'm going to cast these bad boys on. And yes, I know I'm not going to have these done within the Christmas season. But if I could have them done before January 1st.
You can still wear them throughout the year, though, because, I mean, they're not traditional red
Right.
and green, so they look, I mean, you could be great for St. Patrick's Day. They're even good for spring, because they look very flower-esque. I love that. I have that colorway, too.
And I think, well, and here's the other link. This Victory sock base is a very round 4-ply, yeah, it's a 4-ply yarn. So for me, the very round 4-ply yarns, I have to knit on ones, which means it goes way faster. Way faster for me. It would be like you knitting them on a 3. Think about how fast that sock would fly if it were on a 3.
Yeah. I always knit my socks
So-
on shoes. Always. Always, always.
Yeah.
Other than the one time I attempted to knit socks for my son on zeros, and they were like steel. Like nothing was getting through those bad boys. I unfortunately took too long and had to rip them out because they no longer fit on his foot. So we will try again later. Had to
I
rip
love
them out.
socks.
Yes, I have a mailbox madness. Do you?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah. I have mailbox madness.
How much mailbox? I only have one.
I got a lot of mailbox
Oh,
madness.
you should go. I will have lots of mailbox madness coming up, but I only have one this week.
Okay. So I'm really super excited about this one. I bought myself a Christmas present
I was like, what are you talking about?
because
Remember?
I have been wanting one forever.
Mhm.
So a long time ago, when I first started knitting, I thought it was so cool to pull yarn from the inside. But inevitably, yarn vomit always happened, and it drives me batty. And so upon doing a little bit of research, I found out that it's actually better for your yarn to not do that, because pulling from the inside adds more twist to the yarn. And so your stitch definition, it will change. So if you pull from the outside, your fibers are a little more relaxed in the way that it's supposed to be, and you'll have beautiful stitch definition. And the other bonus from pulling from the outside is that it doesn't get tangled up, which is a huge bonus. So I forever and ever and ever have been wanting one of these little Lazy Susans for my yarn. And you just pull from the outside and it spins, and I love it. So I finally broke down and I got one.
I want one. I want the black one that's from the same shop as the one you got it from.
It is awesome. Oh, shop. I should tell you where I got it from, but I forgot. So now I've got to find it.
It's on Etsy.
2 seconds. It is on Etsy. And everything is handmade. There it is. Wrap and turn. Yeah, they're called little yarn caddies, and you can choose what kind of wood that you want. Cherry, walnut, birch, holly, pine, persimmon, red cedar, bloodwood, purple heart, babinga, liptus, Chechen, lacewood, spalted maple, and jatoba. There are a ton of options.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're beautiful.
I'm in love with it. So go check them out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. They give you little options like, do you want no little things to put on the bottom? Do you want little suction cups? Or do you want these little felt things? And they're just little stickers. And I got the felt so it doesn't scratch any surface that I'm on. And I'm loving them. So that's my first mailbox madness. And I have 2 more things, technically, like groupings of things.
Okay. I just have the one. This is the bag I was telling you guys about last week. This is my new bag from Lip Syncing Ladybug. And it's got the little Christmas penguins on it.
That's adorable.
Isn't it cute? And I love the little polka dot handle. And it has the little ladybug charm on it, which they have started doing. And then it's just red polka dots on the inside. And then the pocket on the inside of the bag is also that same fabric. So
Cute.
And on the inside of almost all of the Lip Syncing Ladybugs, they have the little yarn guide. So, and they are on Etsy. They are lipsyncingladybug.etsy.com. So, I love it. Super cute.
Me too.
I'm happy with my little penguin bag.
I don't think I have one of those yarn guides in any of mine.
They're new, because most of
Yeah.
the bags that you had were the
The older
early
ones.
versions,
Yeah.
and they've started doing that, so
I like
they're on
that.
the inside
That's
of
a
the
good. That's a nice new addition.
And on the small size, I believe there's just the one, and on the drawstring size, there's just the one, but on the bigger sweater bags, I believe there's one on each side.
That's awesome. I like that. That's perfect for like 2-color shawls or anything. That's awesome. Okay, so I also got my swap package. I got my November and December swap package for our Harry Potter knit along. So I wanted to show you, talk to the camera and not at the floor, what I got. So my sweet swap partner from Happy Stitcher, Krista, sent me this cute bag that she made.
I want one of these.
And you can see her cute little logo on the inside.
I love this bag.
So sweet.
Love it.
Love it, love it, love it. I got C. Jane Knit Skein of Yarn. Perfect fall colors. It's got the browns and the green and the blue. And it comes with this adorable stitch marker. I feel like I'm like stretching so far to get to the camera. This is the NCIS McGee colorway.
I love that.
I do too. It's really fun. 100% superwash merino, 400 yards. It's perfect. Perfect, perfect for me. So, with my November one, I also got this adorable little Notions pouch that matches. And it was stocked full of all of the things that I lose on a regular basis, so she doesn't know me or anything. I got a retractable tape measure. Love it. I got some yarn snips. And now I'm thinking I need one for every single project bag that I own. It's so cute. It just...
They're so cute.
They're adorable. So, got those. I got these sweet little stitch markers, and I don't know if she made these herself, but they are 2 sweaters. There's a blue sweater and a pink sweater. I guess it's a rainbow sweater, and a sock. Stitch markers, and then I got darning needles, and if you all know me, I lose them all the time. So that was my November. And then for December, I got this little bird and birdhouse winter bag.
So cute.
And I got these mini skeins from woollenstudio.etsy.com, and they're these colors.
Cute.
Yeah, so these are going to be perfect. They're going to go into my scrappy blanket, my little cozy memory blanket. Super excited about them. And then she also made me a pair of mittens. And this is out of Malabrigo's Indicita colorway. It's awesome when you can just recognize them because you've knit with this colorway so many times that you're like, I know what that is.
I love that color.
So it's probably one of my favorite ones.
I have a Binkin hat made out of that.
Yep.
Super sweet.
So super sweet. I love that.
I want a little raccoon.
I love it. And then the last thing that came in the mail that I wanted to talk about was Love and Leche sent me this lotion bar, and Love and Leche was formerly known as Milk and Honey, and they are located in New Mexico, and this scent is, it's on the lid, citrus rose, and they pour it into these sweet tins that look exactly like the little sheep head on there, and I have been using this every single day nonstop for about a week now, and I can tell you what, my hands feel amazing. I've used it on my elbows, I've used it on my knees. It's 100% natural, so it says you can even use it on your face, use it on your dry chapped lips. I put it on my daughter's chapped lips because her lips get really bad chapped and cracked and they bleed, and after a couple days they worked better than chapstick. So fantastic. So far I'm loving it. You can find them at loveandleche.com. And the way that these hard lotion bars work is the oil, like the heat of your skin, of your body temperature, warms up the oils, and that's what lets you rub it on. And then after you hang out for a little while without moving around too much, it'll just suck into your skin. So it's kind of awesome. You get a 2.5 ounce you get a lot. You get a lot. So, so far I'm loving this.
Very cool.
And highly recommend it.
Yeah, I like the smell.
I love the smell. I just love it. So they sent me that. Very cool. So very.
Knitting 101 is basically just a fun little idea that I came up with to kind of give you guys a little bit of information about Sarah and I, but in a knitting type of way.
It's snowing. Sorry.
Oh, it's snowing. It's so pretty. The window's right there.
Beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
So we came up with 101 questions that we will go over through the course of the next year. So, do you want to ask yours first?
Yeah. Do you knit more for yourself or for other people? Who do you knit more for?
That's hard. I honestly have to say I think it's probably 50-50. I primarily think I knit for my children. But I have knit a lot of things for myself. Like almost every single shawl I think I've ever made, I've kept for the most part. Not all of them. I do knit things for my husband and my kids. And I do give a lot of knitted items away. So I think I'm about 50-50. I'd have to say. Yeah.
I started out as a very generous knitter. I wanted to, everybody would say, would you knit me this and would you knit me that? And I said, sure, of course I will. And as time has gone by, I have stopped saying sure so readily, and it's like, well, maybe one of these Christmases you'll get that. That would be really fun to give you at some point. I find that I knit more and more for myself because I knit a lot of socks, and most of my socks I knit with the intention of keeping. Most of the shawls I knit with the intention of keeping. However, with that said, like I said on the last podcast, I tend to give a lot of things away at the same time. So when somebody says, I really like that shawl, instead of saying, well, I could make you one, I know that I could make one, but I want to make one when I want to make one, and I want to make it in the colors that I want to make it in. I don't want to make it in the colors that they're picking, and I definitely don't want to make it in the same combination if that's what they're wanting. So it's much nicer and easier to say, well, then you should just have this one.
Yes.
And with socks, I knit socks so much that I tend to not go through them. Obviously, I don't wear but a few pair at a time, and when one gets a hole in it, then I'll replace it with another new pair out of my drawer and go about my merry way. And I have knit well over 50 pairs of socks, but most of my socks I don't have. I give them as birthday gifts, as Mother's Day gifts. My oldest daughter's most requested gift from her friends are, will you please knit me a pair of socks? And they all have bigger feet than her. They all wear bigger shoes than me for the most part, or the same size shoe as me. So I kind of have a little stash of, I liked them, I'm not in love with them, and usually can pick from that stash. Like I said. So I'm kind of a selfish knitter because I knit with the intention of keeping the item.
But you give a lot of it away.
But I give a lot of it away.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So about 50-50 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. I begrudgingly sometimes, when I've been asked too many times, can you knit this, this, and this from different people? Sure. Yeah. So, I'm kind of selfish in that, I think. So it's more like a 75-25.
75-25. Well, there you go. Good odds, I guess.
Yeah.
my question is, what is your go-to gift knitting project?
Well, I think I just answered that.
Socks.
Socks. But with that said, if I'm intending to give a gift to somebody, a lot of times it's a hat too.
Mm-hmm.
I would say socks or hats. If I'm intending to knit something, it's usually a one skein project that I know I can complete in about a week, and it's usually a hat. I wish that I was a more generous knitter as far as maybe I'll knit my mom a sweater or something. But you know what I mean? I haven't. I've never knit my husband a sweater. I've never knit. He would never wear it anyways, like ever. He's not a sweater guy. My dad might wear one if I knit it. In fact, I'm pretty confident he would. He's very knit worthy, but yeah, it's usually hats. Hats or socks.
For me, if it's an adult, it's generally a hat, unless it's like, I have made slippers, the Saloma slippers for both my aunt and my cousin. But if it's a child, sometimes it's a hat, depending on the age of the child. I'm a sweater knitter for kids. Most of my kids have gotten sweaters. If it's a little girl, it is always this. I have knit this pattern,
I don't know how many times.
lots, because it's so fast. Yeah, so my go-to thing is either a hat or a sweater.
For babies, it's sweaters
Yeah,
and a pair of socks.
See, I want to knit little socks. I haven't done it yet, so I don't have little socks. But yeah, I'm generally a hat or a sweater person when I give them away. Shop happenings, guys. That's just going to be at the very end of the episodes. So if you're not interested in anything that's happening in the Ohloops shop, then feel free to sign off. But if you're curious what's coming up, we have something really exciting to tell you. So
Diane of Suburban Stitcher podcast and Suburban Stitcher Bags is hosting her annual Rainbow Along in February. And it's a really fun knit along where you knit all of the rainbow things. Mm-hmm. And current whips are fine. They can be entered. New things can be entered. As long as they're finished and posted in her group and you're a member of her group by the end of February, then you can be entered in to win.
yes,
This year, she asked for indie dyers, if they wanted to be a part of it. And we did. And so currently there are 3 indie dyers that are going to be a part of this knit along. And we are one of them. So we dyed up some pre-order skeins for it. And I am so excited about them. We went a little bit of a different direction, and we kind of went sophisticated rainbow. Not wild and crazy or retro or anything.
right.
So the first skein of yarn, this one, oh my gosh, it's called Stormy Skies.
It's so pretty.
It has blues and purples and everything that you would associate a stormy sky with. And the second one is called After the Storm. And on camera, I'm hoping that you'll pick up this pale blue that happens, but it is a gently speckled rainbow yarn. So there's every speckle in the rainbow. And if you open it up, you'll see it more. Speckles everywhere. So I'm super excited by this. We will be having these pre-orders up in the shop until January 10th, and then they will come down, and you will get this yarn in the mail in time to cast on for February 1st. Mm-hmm. So that's the plan.
Yes. In the shop, we will also be having progress keepers. There's going to be a little rain cloud one, and then we have cute little rainbow ones. Mm-hmm. So those will be there as well.
Super excited. And we also have wool wash now.
We do.
You can see it right up there. It's all packaged up and ready to go out.
That's the custom Ohloops scent. We're going to make another scent for the rainbow along as well. So
Yep.
there will be a new one in the shop.
There'll be a new one, and I don't know what we'll call it. Like sunshine or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's happening. That's huge news. Huge knit along news. And shop update news.
Yes. Lastly, we just wanted to let everyone know that this is our... Oh, yep.
We'll also have some of these guys in there.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the Wrecked Rainbow skeins.
And there's actually two different ones.
There's two dye
This
lots.
one's the other one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a
So,
lighter dye lot.
It's more rainbow-esque.
And then there's like a more blue. So it's like you get the Stormy Sky Wrecked Rainbow version. And then you get like the brighter rainbow, Wrecked Rainbow version.
Yeah. And these are the double knit sock links.
Yep, so you'll knit 2 socks that are identical. So those are going up too, but those are not on pre-order.
Mm-mm.
So keep that in mind. Those aren't pre-ordered. They are just 10 of them.
Yeah. So when they're gone, they're gone. If you purchase one of those with a pre-order skein, that will not get shipped until your pre-order yarn. If you purchase it by itself, it would probably go up sooner.
Yes.
So
Keep that in mind too.
yeah. Okay, so lastly, we just wanted to say that this will be our last podcast for 2015. So we
Yes.
will see you all again in January of 2016. We hope you have a wonderful Christmas doing everything that you love and spending time with your family. So
Yep.
thanks for making 2015 great for us, guys. We look forward to seeing you next year. So until next time, bye.
Bye.